everybody. All right, I'm going to do something, okay? I get this motivation, inspiration. I want to go visit a rainbow. I want to talk to rainbow spirit, rainbow entity. I want the message to be colorful. I want it to be full of love. I want it to have that fragrance to it. So I'm just going to relax and then we'll see what the message is, okay? So I'm picking a rainbow right now. I am picking this one because the colors are vibrant and I can see each and every one and they're glowing. And I'm at the part where it goes perfectly like up and in the center right here. I am sort of mesmerized and looking at each color and then touching each color too. Examining the way each color feels. I seem really focused on the red over all the other colors. I can't stop looking at the red color. I can't stop wanting to touch it and feel it and inhale it and be experiencing that more deeply. They're showing me red is the color that reminds me of love. They show me how yellow doesn't quite remind me of love, or blue, or purple, or green. Red really reminds me of love. And they show me how the things that help us feel love, like our heart, is also red. Our blood, when it's pumping and we're excited because we like somebody, the blood color is also red. Lips that we use for kissing, also red. There's something to this. So I'm examining this red color and there's sort of two mouths coming together kissing right now. So let's see, the energy is really beautiful. It's really touching and connected and genuine. They're asking me why I am making the choice to do this channeling today. And I'm saying it has a lot to do with I was thinking earlier today about the way of life today. You know, you fall in love with somebody and you don't get to really rejoice in having them in your life when you have a full-time job and you have all these errands to run, all of these things to get done in each and every day. And when the one thing that is more important than anything else is the connection that we make with each other. And life is sort of built around separating the connection, creating vulnerabilities in our emotions to make us feel stressed out, frustrated, and disconnected from each other's hearts, disconnected from even caring about each other's hearts. And there's something so pure and so meaningful that happens when you can be so immersed in another human being that your whole world becomes like a really vibrant rainbow, you know? Can you see how important love is? Can you see how important love is in everything we do? If our jobs were to devote each and every moment to making sure other human beings feel love, know what love feels like, share love, dream about love, experience love, connect with love. And we're not just talking about social interactions. We're talking about technologies and scientific discoveries and spiritual discoveries and discoveries of all different kinds, because love is the highest vibration. Love is the vibration that transforms our experience from miserable to absolutely joyful. And science or philosophy or spirituality or what just socializing or anything, when it has that ingredient of love, now it becomes so vibrant, so bright, so colorful, so touching, so motivating, so passionate. Scientific discoveries, they aren't discovered from logic, they're discovered through passion and dreaming and wanting to know an answer. And there's a certain amount of love that goes into that. But when you put the focus on, I am going to discover a solution to this because And in a solution to, let's say, cleaning up the ocean, for instance, I'm going to come up with a technology that heals Mother Earth, a technology then that heals every human being on the planet. Now, do you see the impact of I just want to create an invention that sells and make a lot of money, or I want to create something that heals Mother Earth and heals every single human being on the planet. Money will come with it. We still live in a society with money, but when the intentions are about healing others, the power and the impact and the ability to create discoveries of this kind becomes so much more pronounced. And we all get to rejoice in that gift then. It becomes so much more. It's a spiritual gift then. It's a heart gift. It's a physical gift. It heals the nature. It heals human beings. It heals living organisms. It's more than that. It heals creation itself. It's huge. It's raising the vibration across the planet. It's important. And so that's why I want to talk about love. I always want to talk about love, but sometimes I don't always know how to define what I'm trying to say or fit all of those topics into one conversation, or even know which topic to pick out of a hat. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know where to start when it comes to love. And so I thought I would channel and just see what they had to share, but sometimes they just want me to talk about what I see, how I feel, what I think, and try my best to to share it in a way that might touch other people and mean something to other people. So let's see what else here. Okay, there's something else I was thinking about this morning that I'm not talking about. It's about sexuality. It's about connection with between two human beings who love each other. It doesn't matter if you're male, female, 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 male, male. It doesn't matter. It's falling in love and having a connection that creates unity. And creates unity that is so sincere, so earthquaking, through rumbling through the body, creates tears, creates feelings of fireworks. It's so important to really nurture that seed and really help it grow. How do you nurture it? How do you nurture it? It's important that we focus on this. It's important that we find ways to nurture this more. Find ways to connect with more balance, with each other's needs, each other's hearts, better sexual balance, better means to communicate, even if we can't find the words. Sometimes just holding another person's hand or giving a hug is saying enough, you know what I mean? But this is important. That connection is important. It's important for healing the planet, healing everybody. It's important to allow ourselves to appreciate seeing two people in love even. And if they're kissing in public because they love each other that much, that's kind of a beautiful, good thing. We should all be kissing in public. We should all be hugging each other. We should all be thankful to have each other. We all should feel this way. It's true. We should all feel the meaning of each other. Even people we don't know. Their souls are here for a reason, just like your soul. And right now, the meaning of it all is to transform this pathway from something that has made us feel like we are being pushed into the dirt and there's no way out, no way up and out into the light. It's not going to be that way anymore. How do you change the pathway? You acknowledge that it is changed by choosing to embrace love. Love is the new pathway. How do you create a new pathway of love? You allow yourself to be transformed, embrace, think about, share love as much as you possibly can. It's important. So let's see. They're showing me looking at the stars and then my hand touching a star and then taking it and holding it in my hand. They're talking about what this means to me is Souls can look like stars too. Souls look like stars too, or orbs, or and how they translate when I perceive a soul is it looks like a real face and body and all of that. But on another level, it's color, it's sound, it's a star. It looks like a star. And so me, I choose one star out of an infinite universe of stars, one soul, and then I take that and I hold it in my hand and I hold it close to my heart, right? When we choose another soul to experience life with, we choose them and there's reverence and respect of that. And then we take that energy of love and we hold that close to our heart. We take care of the one that we choose. That's important. And then we allow ourselves to be taken care of too by the one who chooses us back. If there isn't balance, then it's important to acknowledge that either it's time that we can be challenged and find new ways of working together, or it's time now for us to explore new stars in an infinite universe. It's important to acknowledge that love is either what you choose or what you do not choose. If you can't maintain the balance of love, it's okay to say, you know what, we gave it our best shot. Let us see what other versions of love we can rejoice in this lifetime. What we don't understand as human beings, we have so many feelings and so many thoughts, and we can have our feelings hurt very easily, and we can try and feel like a failure. There's no such thing as failing in a relationship. There's only a such thing as choosing to acknowledge that we aren't blending the same anymore, and it's okay to move in a new direction. It's actually a good thing. It means it's time for the soul to have new learning experiences, and that is good. But acknowledging that it is time or moving on, it can be very, very hard, right? So they're helping me with this conversation. There was a part that I forgot about. So alien beings or other human beings in the infinite universe that don't look like us, other creations that have a consciousness. And so there's different versions of love that exist in the cosmos too. And so you can choose. So let's just take Palladian being, for instance. In a perfect choice and balance between two souls that gravitate towards each other, that is just right. And then they go through a very long span of time together. What could be, 200 years or more. And then they just feel a shift or a change in the energy vibration, and they know that it's time to experience something new and not to continue together anymore. And so for them, it is joyful. It is exciting. It is understood that it is time for something new. Nobody's feelings ever get hurt. It's entirely blissful. It's entirely loving, and it's understood. And it is good. It is good. However, here we translate those moments as, we just complicate everything so much more because we allow our feelings to get hurt and ourselves to get stressed out or frustrated. And then there's a system of rules that get involved sometimes with how you separate. And it just feels like so many, slaps on the wrist. You can't seem to get unwound or unbound from something of this kind. And so there's some message involved when I think about human relationships versus relationships for other beings, how simple it is to accept and then rejoice in going their separate ways. Whereas for us, it's just so much friction and I can't let go or whatever it might be. So what else do they have to say? They're showing me the rainbow. They're showing me I'm taking like a cup and it's full of red and I'm drinking it. I am wiping the sweat off my brow. I am coming down to the ground now. I'm sitting on grasses. I am thinking. I look like a little girl. It's kind of like the girl from All Dogs in Heaven. All dogs go to heaven. It's kind of like that little girl. It's kind of what I look like. And I'm thinking. And there's something important here about love between parents and child as well. She didn't have any parents. That's why she had the dogs that were taking care of her. And she was homeless. And she never stopped looking for love, love of family. And children need that love in their hearts. They need it to grow. And that is what they search for, what they seek. That is their cup of red that they want to experience. It's very, very important that we are sharing this love with children and helping children to feel that love in their heart too. That's what they're talking about. And they're talking about her love for an animal that is also like a parent taking care of her. Animals that love us back too. Animals that also share love and take care of us as well. Let's see what else they're talking about. There's some sort of light that's coming out of her heart, and then I see what is in the distance. It sort of looks like Jesus coming out of white light. It's beautiful because as he comes out, the light is so bright behind him, and it comes out like this, and it looks like wings, like angel wings. He's coming down to this girl. I am to identify him as Jesus. She can't see him, but he sees her. He is sharing his light with her heart and helping her to feel comforted and loved. She's crying. She feels alone, she says. He says, "You are not alone. I'm here, whether you can see me or not." This is an important message about spiritual love, too. He shows that he is wrapping his arms around her, and then also his light around her, like in a blanket, and then drying her tears at the same time, and then filling her heart with warmth and helping her to feel loved. It has a way of being felt by her. Because she's starting to feel a little less sad, more empowered, even though she can't tell that he's there. It's helping her to think positively. It's helping her to dry her own tears and to know that there's hope. There's something about hope involved with this, but it's very positive and her heart feels rejuvenated. She stands up. She's clearly a very young girl. She's like 7 years old. She has jet black hair and pale skin. She's looking up at the rainbow, but she's looking past the rainbow out into the stars. It's like she's looking into the heavens as well, not just into the physical sky, but into the spiritual sky as well. She feels empowered. She feels like she has a very important message that she wants to share. She doesn't care what her age is. She's marching now somewhere in some direction in order to proclaim this message that is extremely important. There's a new scene that's developing. It just looks like darkness everywhere. It seems like there's a very short platform made out of wood, so you could step on it, but it's just all dark, and then there's some sort of fogginess or mist. So I'm just looking at this. I am the young girl, and I am walking into this place, and I have no fear. In fact, I know my love shines so bright that there is no darkness that can penetrate it. In fact, my light now penetrates darkness and helps darkness to feel what love feels like. This is important, they say. Do you know how much the love in your heart penetrates all the darkness of this world? It doesn't penetrate you. You penetrate it. When the light comes on, does the darkness create more shadow so you can't see it? Or does the light penetrate the shadow and now there is no shadow? There's only light. They're talking about this is what love does in dark times. It helps clear out darkness. Love clears darkness because love creates light. It creates illumination. Illumination of the emotions and the mind and the thoughts and everything. I'm waiting for there to be something new associated with her in this place. I'm not able to see further. It's as if she's gone in so far and maybe made some turns inside of an old rickety house. So I don't know where her light is in all of this. Thing is, so you can see I fragmented off. So here I am, her in going in the darkness and here I am examining the place, and now I am not with her. But yet I am her too. This is part of the message. Sometimes we lose ourselves in the darkness. Even if our hearts are bright and full of love, sometimes we lose ourselves in the darkness as well. They ask if I think love then gets lost in the darkness. I say human beings get lost. Love never gets lost. Our minds are what create the darkness in the first place. Our feelings, our thoughts are the ones that can get contaminated, confused, but our light never stops shining. Our souls never stop shining. And when we are empowered by love, now we're extremely bright. And when we can feel it, feel confident with it, feel balanced with it, know our power with it, now everything, our inner strength, now we find ourselves again. This structure is like a massive old haunted house, and is sort of, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of society in that way. Like, how am I going to find my way in all of this? There's so many different doorways, and there's secret passageways, and move the candlestick here and the floor opens up, and then I can go upstairs, but there's so many floors up above and so many floors below, and there's so many twists and turns to this alleyway. It never stops, and it's all dark, and it makes me want to just break apart the entire system, let it all collapse, and then now we have nothing but open space. Now we have nothing but we can see in 360 degrees. I can see downward, I can see in that direction, that direction. I'm a sphere of sight. I can see in all directions. Like, how do you create the infinite eye on top of a pyramid? You choose to see in all directions by breaking down the structure. When there is no structure that creates walls and boundaries and separations, now there is nothing else to see but all of the sphere of all. You can see in all directions. That was my motivation to find myself again, was to break the structure entirely. But they're not allowing it. I'm just calling myself back to myself. They're asking me, why is it that you want to find yourself so bad? Do you feel that you have lost yourself? And I say, well, part of the message it was to talk about losing yourself in the darkness. And now the feeling is that I will attempt to find myself in dark times, right? And one way to find myself in dark times is just to break apart everything I knew about this house, about this structure, about this experience of life. I will just allow the structure to collapse, and I will start building a whole new foundation with whole new experience. And I will be able to find myself that way. Even if the place collapsed and I'm way up on the fifth floor and now I'm falling and I'm in the inside of rubble, it's not part of it's part of an illusion that I would get hurt. It doesn't hurt me to collapse the structure. It makes me believe that it will hurt me to collapse the structure, but it will not. Collapsing the structure is actually the only way to rebuild is something that is so much more beautiful, more exciting, and worth experiencing. Maybe this time, instead of building a massive house with all these rooms and more floors and really deep, and it's all just getting full of the house is going to need fixed up. This house needs fixed up bad. It's just like you build a foundation and you keep working with it, but instead of working with it, you're just building onto it. It's sort of like law these days. How many more law books do we need to help with create? It's like we gotta clean out the loopholes, but now there's just so many. Just building on top of one thing, on top of another, on top of another, on top of another. Now we have a massive haunted house with endless hallways, doorways, different. You just have to break it all down, and now maybe next time we'll just have a tent or something. We don't even need a tent. It's an illusion as well. You just sleep under the stars out in the open. There's something about that. Say, are you done looking for yourself yet? And I'm saying, yeah, I was always a part of all myselves all along. So I'm just walking out of the doorway and I am acknowledging that it is time to move on. When you choose to move on, me choosing to move on, it instantly signaled my other self to come directly back to me. When I kept trying to find myself, now I had something to look for. But when I chose to let go and move on, now all parts of my reflection come back and find me now. They become a part of me now, and now I can move on properly. They're saying, so you're not going to break the house down? And say, oh, I've been trying to break the house down, but it keeps showing itself as it is. And so I'm just going to choose to walk away and then find a new home or build a new home. Or I don't feel like building anything at all. I just honestly feel like walking through this forest here. And if I fall asleep under a tree, that sounds nice as well. I don't feel like I need to focus on that structure anymore in my life. I just feel like I want something new and I want some fresh air. When I choose that, I'm in the woods and I'm feeling tired now, and Spirit actually makes a bed for me. It's a bed underneath a tree, but it's comfortable, like nobody's business. It's like the most comfortable mattress ever with a pillow and blankets and everything. And there's a tree here that really wants me to sleep close to it. It's some sort of connection with nature, and it's so healing. It feels so much better when I let go of trying to understand or figure something out or find myself or find my way through all this darkness. There's something so much more refreshing when I just say, you know what, I'm just going to move on and I want to explore some new version of love. And in the process of that, it's amazing how things just start to enter into your life that take care of you on this new pathway or choice, this new road in your life. The Spirit can manifest things. They help you. They will inspire you to take certain roads at certain times, run into random people you never thought you would ever meet, people who are friendly and there to help you never expected. And they make sure you're taken care of. When you're ready to make a change, somehow it feels like you're jumping off the tightrope, but there's always a net. There's always a net. It's the illusion that there is no net. You're gonna fall and it's gonna hurt, and it's just gonna break all your bones, and your life is just never gonna be the same. You're never gonna recover from it. You have to let go, and now you become all of yourselves, and you let Spirit show you the way to the next new thing in your life. And they're saying, allow yourself to let go, and then allow yourself to trust in Spirit to guide you, and then allow your choice for a new pathway to be full of love, experiences of love, gifts of love to help you rebuild, something new when the time comes. They're saying how sometimes when we leave parts of our lives where we have built such a structure of this kind, we start walking through the woods because we don't even know where else to go. We don't have a place. We don't have a home yet. We don't have a next step yet. All we can do is just start walking aimlessly through the woods, and that's what it feels like, they say. But as you walk through the woods, you'll start to get used to that experience, and you'll start noticing pleasant surprises along the way. And as you rebuild you sort of pull in all yourselves, or rebuild your emotions, your mind, your inner strength, or whatever it might be you're rebuilding, you're just coming back to yourself. You're collecting yourself. That's the only way I can describe it. You are collecting yourself again, walking through the woods and just continuing to walk further and further away from what was, right? And so you start to discover new things about yourself. You start to experience a new reflection of who and what you are. And that then inspires you to go places where you plant new roots, and you will eventually get to a point where you do want to plant new roots, and you start building a new foundation and start building upon it something totally new, and it's very refreshing. But this is important. They say it's important for you to see this sort of house experience, all the wisdom associated with that. Now this sort of pathway through the woods, it feels a little scary. It feels like we don't know where we're going, but yet there is always somebody there helping you, and comes from spirit, and then helping you to get to the next point on your journey where you can start building a new foundation. That's what they're saying. So now I am back at the rainbow, and I have a cup full of red, and I'm pouring it on the rainbow to make the red even more vibrant, to capture more love, or visibility of love, experience of love. Since we're focusing on the red, it's much more vibrant, and it really is capturing more of my attention. It is filling up with love, more red. And red was added to the rainbow. Somebody's adding more love to the experience. It's this little girl, she's up there, she's giggling that she put the red in, more red, and now she's coming back to the ground, she's sitting down, and she feels very strong and very sure of herself. Now she's walking in the opposite direction, and she says, now I'm ready to go share this wisdom with other human beings. I had to just go in there first. I just had to share that message first. And that message isn't just about relationships or moving on from a relationship experience. It's not just about how love shines in the darkness. There's so many messages associated with that. But now she says, I'm ready now to go into the city. It's basically, let me describe it. She's actually walking towards a massive city. But it has to do with really sharing her joy, her excitement, her curiosity. But there's a big message that she has to share too. She says, it's a long ways to the city. I've got a long ways to go before I get there, and I don't even mind it. I'm just going to enjoy each step and each moment of my journey. Eventually, I'll get to where I'm going. And in the process of getting there, I'm just going to enjoy every blade of grass I see, all the birds, all the trees, everything I see along the way. I'm just going to choose to enjoy it. And when the time comes, and I will be ready for it then too, just as I am ready for it now. And that is why I'm walking in this direction towards the city. I want to share love with people who live in cities. I want to share this message. That's what she says. Something feels like the energy's shifting or getting really relaxed now, like I'm getting pulled away from this sort of channeling. So that's all I have to share. All right, now we know something. I just had to make some video where we can just get some other learning experiences with spirit and other things to think about and fill our lives with new thoughts, new directions, new inspirations. All right, that's all I'm going to share. So thank you for watching. And if you're interested in visiting with me one-on-one, I do share psychic readings and spiritual healing at my website at abbynormalswisdomquest.com. Thank you for watching.